Welcome, everyone, to Light in the World. I am your host, George Angel Ramirez. Thank you for tuning into this episode. Join me on this journey to spread more love and kindness into this beautiful world of ours. How's it going, everybody? Hopefully you guys are having a great day so far. Today, I got another special episode with Kyle, and we get into some pretty deep subjects. We talk about suicide, we talk about drug use, we talk about just life in general. One thing I do want to say before I start this episode, obviously suicide is a very, very touchy subject. Me and Kyle have different views on suicide, but if you're feeling suicidal, please get help. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I have for today. I love you guys. I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I hope you guys enjoy this conversation. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, we're good to go. We're good.
Yeah.
But yeah, the last thing that we left up on was suicide. I know we got into that episode pretty deep. It was, I didn't expect anything, not anything, I'm sorry. It was, I'm sure both of us didn't expect how deep we went. And yeah.
On you.
Yeah.
Closing the door.
But yeah, suicide. Suicide was the last thing that we left up on.
So we jump from there. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll actually tell a little story about me.
Oh, okay. There you go. I was like,
yeah,
I don't know.
I'll start.
You saw my pause.
I'll start. Yeah. No. I'll start. So I don't tell some people know this story, but I might as well get this story out of the way, for people in the future. I actually tried committing suicide once. It wasn't anything like dramatic, So what had happened was I had my first girlfriend right after high school. I was madly in love with this girl. And long story short, we ended up breaking up. And that was my very first girlfriend. I took it to heart, man. So I was devastated, completely devastated. And I remember my heart was just broken, I think I was just kind of looking for attention on her side as well, too. Or I was looking to get attention from her. So I took like 10 pills. Nothing, like I said, nothing dramatic. I'm not here trying to, glamorize it. But I'm being honest. I took 10 pills. Then I realized, all right.
What kind of pills?
I don't even know what the fuck they were, dude. I think they were just like sleeping pills, like,
Advil or
Benadryl or whatever. It starts with the D. I forgot exactly what it's called. But I like quickly realized, I'm like, okay.
Not dick pills.
Definitely not those rhino pills. I think I would have been. Dude, I actually have a funny story about those rhino pills. So yeah, I took these I don't remember exactly what they were, but I was with a friend. I was at her house, and I told her, I was like, hey, just letting you know, like, I took these pills. So we called the ambulance, and I ended up going into this, I don't know what they're called, but you have to stay there for about a week. And
a detox where they pump your stomach
a place where people go and, when they try.
Oh, yeah, you went into fucking psych ward.
Yeah, but you know what, man? I met some pretty cool people in that psych ward.
Yeah, it's like at Palo Verde here in Tucson.
Yeah, I don't. There was one in it was like 10 minutes away from where I lived in New Jersey. But it was an experience, man. I got to meet people. I'm not saying my problems weren't, they were big to me. But then when I started talking to the other people in that psych ward, I'm like, so my roommate actually was this guy who worked at a pizzeria at this mall me and my friends would go to all the time. And you know how, I don't know if you've ever been to one of those, but you know how you're supposed to take these classes and be a part of the program or whatever. So this guy, he just slept in his room all day. And I would check up on him. I don't remember his name. And I was like, hey, man, like, are you all right? And he's like, yeah, I just need rest. Like, he sounded so normal. Like, he's like, I just need to take a rest. And I was like, all right. So I never bothered him. And then out of nowhere, one day he started coming to the meetings or groups or whatever it was.
And this is still in the mental health facility.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. No, in this specific spot that I was in, because if I would have told him no, I would have been forced to another one. And the guy was honest with me. He's like, if you tell me no, you don't want to come with us, we're gonna take you to a place that's worse. But if you say yes, you want to come with us, then we'll take you to a place that's a lot better. So I said, all right, yeah, I'm not gonna fight you guys. So. But yeah, it was interesting, man. Actually, from that place, I found out that I love graham crackers and milk.
'Cause that's all you got?
No. Well, everybody threw away their graham crackers, so I just collected these graham crackers, and then I had milk, and then I'm like, holy shit, like I actually love this combination.
It's called cereal.
Yeah, but
for those of you that are not aware,
but just the combination was really good for me. So that's my story on suicide. I mean, I've known people that have tried. I've kind of known people that, I don't know. It's a very touchy subject, man, and it can be a very hard subject, especially nowadays. A lot of people are going through depression, and a lot of people are going through a lot of stuff, and actually, it's tough, man. It is a very tough situation for a lot of people.
Yeah, one of my really, really good friends, I'm not going to say his last name, but Matt, I know a lot of Matts, but his father committed suicide, and it fucked this kid up, Matt, in the head in a real bad way, and he got, I mean, it's obviously it comes with the he's
it's tough.
Spun out and got into real bad shit, and still suffers with heavy depression after that. And but he's come to. It took years and years. I mean, he could have gone off the deep end real quick, but he didn't, and I'm so happy for him for that, because it sucks. I mean, well, here's the thing about suicide that one of my other good buddies up the street, Kevin, I won't say last name, but used to say, like, suicide is almost admirable. Like, it takes
some balls, dude.
A lot of strength, a lot of fucking a lot of fucking willpower and energy to realize that you have control over. And the way it used to say it, it was admirable. I mean, back in the day, they say the same thing. Like, if you have the will to take your own life over taking somebody else's, that it was almost praised. Like, takes a lot of fucking nuts.
It's, and then not trying to glorify it either, but like I said, when I tried it,
could you imagine that moment of
but I didn't have it. I didn't have it in me.
You didn't have the drive to actually go through with it.
Yeah, exactly.
You pushed out, which is great, because
exactly,
I get to see your stupid face. And
exactly.
I'm thankful for it.
Exactly.
But it takes a lot to
actually go through with it, man. And the thing is, as well, too, is the sad part is, unfortunately, you leave people behind, right? And I'm not trying to justify anything, but it is sad for the people that are left behind.
Right. That's always that's the the most common reaction. How selfish.
And it's
how selfish of you.
It's
like, you're,
and I don't see it.
Everybody behind you. I
don't see it as selfish. Because
I think it's, if you are unhappy and you know what's best for you and what you're gonna I think it's impressive. I'm not glorifying it by any means. I'm not saying go out there and fucking kill yourself, but it takes a fucking lot of mental and physical strength to do that. I mean, all right, so we'll get into it. My mom,
man, that's
killed herself. That's how we're kind of segueing into this conversation. And to be honest, I was shedding tears of joy for her because,
Yeah.
like, she fucking
She went through a lot. She went through a lot.
Yeah, she went through a whole fucking lot, and she did it on her own terms and ended the way she wanted to. Maybe not the way she wanted to, but she did it, and I respect her for, the decision that she made, because sometimes you hit such a bad point.
Mm-hmm.
All the help in the world isn't gonna fucking jump in and make you happy. You can put on a fucking fake smile.
I can see that a little bit, but see, I'm pretty optimistic about everything. You know, I've been pretty low in my life, very very low in some points. And I'm like I say, I'm not gonna justify anything. I'm a very very optimistic person. I always believe in the best possible outcome. For example, like I had an uncle. He didn't commit suicide, but he died from an overdose. And I was happy for him because he was suffering on this earth. And I know people are going to say, well, how do you know he's at peace? Look, I'm not going to get into it too much, but I know he's at peace. I didn't cry. My family was crying, and I'm like, I felt something in me, and I felt like he was at peace.
Yeah, you're like
he's at peace. There's,
Yeah, there's a reason people react in
different ways.
Say fucking, fuck yeah to the... Good for you. Like, you... Think about all the celebrities. Huge depression. I mean, that's a big topic on your podcast.
Yeah.
And, it's impressive. I mean, even millionaires, celebrities, there's. I think suicide should. I hate to sound stupid about it, but I think it should be accepted, respected. In Oregon, they actually allow that now. So where
in a way,
you can get, if you are medically diagnosed with something, you can request injection.
Right.
And
I see where you're coming from. So the way I look at suicide, if we're kind of going into this topic,
how would you go?
Me, I don't really have a way.
The pills didn't work.
Yeah,
I think that was a cop out.
It was a cop out. Yeah, it was a cop out.
If you want to commit
definitely.
suicide, you're gonna do it.
And like I said, I think it was more for attention at that time.
Exactly.
But this is the way I see it. Should we accept suicide? In my complete opinion, I don't think we should accept it. I think what we should accept is that we need to make a kinder world where this isn't a topic anymore in the future. Of course, there's going to be people that are sick, and that I can kind of understand.
I disagree already. I think it should be a topic. I think
it shouldn't, though, because look at the reason why people are killing themselves.
Well, nowadays is total. I think about our age. I mean, I'm fucking pushing 40. Things are a lot different these days with social media and bullying and the internet and all that. Sorry, I'm not talking in the mic directly.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
But little kids are killing themselves for that is they need to get over that hump and go through.
I guess so. But see, this is my thing with suicide. This is just my thing. Is we should never, when I went into that hospital, into that mental whatever ward, the psych ward, I'm talking to these people, and I'm like, holy shit, my problems don't matter because this person is actually going through something. So we should never look at, especially mental health, in that way where it's like, oh, just because you don't have it as bad as I do doesn't mean anything. I think it's with suicide, in my opinion, I really do think it shouldn't be a thing in the future. Am I saying, so how would I say this directly? So not that I don't respect people that do it, like, I may understand why people do it, and people have the reasons to do it, and I don't think it's a selfish thing, especially when you're at the lowest point in your life. Then, I understand. But I think we should definitely make a kinder world where we don't have to. We can. Well, I think if we make this is the thing. If we make a kinder world, and this actually ends up working out in the future, that won't be a thing, because people are going to have more compassion for each other, and they're going to understand why people are going through certain stuff. So suicide, mental illness, a lot of these things won't really be a thing if that's really what we want, a kinder world. But obviously that's still ways away. We're not even scratching the surface. If anything, times are going to get worse right now before things get a whole lot better.
Yeah.
But that's just the way I see it. Like, I see where you're coming from.
No, I get it. But I mean, all I'm saying is, like, I remember when Chelsea, my sister, called me. She walked in to go check out our mom.
Yeah.
Check up on her, and said, "Mom's dead." First thing in my head was, she killed herself.
Yeah.
Like, I knew it. I just knew. And I was sad as fuck, obviously.
Right.
To find out, lo and behold, yeah, it was. She took a bunch of pills and fucking... Yeah, killed herself on her medication. But at the same time, I was like, good for you, Mom.
Yeah.
Because
she's in...
the world gave her a shitty fucking hand.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah.
And, I was, honestly, like, of course I was super sad.
Right.
Right. But I was so happy that she finally, like...
That was the same thing with my uncle. Same exact thing. It's like, you don't have to suffer anymore. You don't have to suffer these pains. And especially when you see somebody going through that suffering and it's ended, right? Maybe not on the best terms, but they don't have to deal with that suffering.
Whatever they were going through in this reality of human existence.
Yeah, and they have their own reasonings for that. Like you said, a lot of people, all those people are selfish. Of course, right? You have to think of yourself. You have to think of the people that she left behind. But
that's not selfish
exactly
at all. I think it's the most selfless.
Exactly.
It takes a lot of balls and a lot of fucking courage and...
It's a
realization that
it's a tough thing, and like you said, to go through it, is something, right? Most people are never,
because there's a lot of people that attempt suicide, but they do it.
And this is not to badmouth them. This is not to badmouth.
But there's a lot of people that have attempted suicide, knowing that it won't go through. And
like me. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I'm not giving praise to anybody for attempting that, but it's like, I don't know. All right, so yeah, my uncle he just passed away 2 days ago. Uncle Chuck, and
hey, bud, go over there.
He was just one of the old school badass, like, cowboys, and he knew it was his time, but it's just like, because he lied to the whole family. He found out he had cancer in his liver and other, but he also was hiding the fact that he had hepatitis C his whole life and everything. But, and then he had to transfer going into hospice, so he had to go stay with my cousin, his son. And they were giving him, what's it called?
What is it called? The The IV? IV drip?
But
I don't know.
sorry, I'm having a super big brain fart. But they went to give him his,
Morphine. Oh, okay.
Morphine, there we go.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Morphine under his tongue, and then
For what?
to kill the pain, because he was comatose.
Shit.
So he was comatose.
Yeah.
In hospice bed in my cousin's house.
Yeah.
And then my cousin, he called me right after Uncle Chuck died. He was like, yes, so we gave him his dose of morphine at 7 a.m. And he kind of rolled his head over and opened his eyes and took his last breath. And I was like, holy shit.
Jesus, yeah.
I was like, that's exactly what happened with my dad, too. It's weird how the eyes open.
So,
anyway, going back.
yeah.
But he always had said, like, my Uncle Chuck, like, I'm not going to go out like a pussy. I'll fucking kill myself before I fucking die in a bed.
I'm sorry.
But he wanted to be in the comfort of a family's home. And, like...
He's old school.
Yeah, it was...
I'm obviously I'm sorry about your loss, man. You know, it's like for the past week for me, I've had a lot of friends lose somebody pretty close to them. Literally within the past like 2-3 weeks, man. Like I had a friend that lost her dad. I had a friend that lost a friend. I had another friend who lost an ex-girlfriend. You know, lost somebody. I had another friend just lose somebody. And, dude, one of the things that really scares me is, you know, I've lost my uncle. I lost not my best friend, but he was my best friend in middle school. He died from an overdose. But that's one thing I'm pretty scared of, you know, losing, like, my mom or grandparents. You know, I don't know how I'm going to take it. I'm a big believer in the afterlife. I know, not that I know, I've read a couple books that makes sense to me, at least. That's, you know, for another topic down the road. But I'm a big believer on it, so it doesn't scare me as much to lose somebody. But then again, like, you know, we're still here on Earth. We still have to deal with these earthly things and, you know, whatever. And
so where do you see yourself? Like, say you're diagnosed with terminal illness.
Yeah.
You got 2 months.
2 months? Okay.
What
do I do?
Yeah, where, like, mentally, where does your vision of those 2 months go, and then further after? And what, like, it's gotta be crazy, like, to be in that situation.
Let's say tomorrow I get diagnosed with terminal cancer, can't be reversed, and it goes that way. My thing, what I would do is I would quit my job immediately and buy a ticket to Sicily and go live my life out there. That's what I would do. I would go straight to Sicily. I would buy a ticket one way. Actually, I'd probably go visit my family first in New Jersey, probably go visit my dad. I have the $7,500 on my my credit card that I can use. Then I have a little bit of savings as well too. So I would just use all that money, go live in Sicily, and just try to, you know, enjoy life, die over there maybe, be happy, try to see what I could see from over there, and that's pretty much what I would do. Yeah. What about you?
I have no fucking clue. Sucks because always wanted to go to the Playboy Mansion.
Okay.
But after watching, what's that fucking stupid show called? Girls Next Door.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, it might be a little too claustrophobic.
Yeah.
So
it's under construction?
Yeah, she said it's under construction.
Okay.
But either way, like, and also, Hef's not there. Honestly, I have no fucking clue what I would do.
Okay. Nothing
If I
wrong
had
with that.
2 months, yeah, not a fucking clue.
Okay. Okay.
Because think about it. In your last 2 months, your physical ability to do certain things it's going to be limited.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be as enjoyable. I'd rather just, I don't know.
Okay. No, but that was a good question. Yeah, I think that's what I would do. Go to Sicily and just die there. Die.
Just.
Yeah, just die. But yeah, I don't fear death as much as I used to fear death. Of course, that fear's still there a little bit, but it's not as bad as it used to be anymore.
I think for me, I've been thinking about it a lot. I mean, I think about death all the time.
Okay.
But I think for me, it's like, I know you haven't done drugs.
Yeah.
Like, I have. I've tested every drug out there known to man. But for me, it's like, I feel like death is going to be one of those experiences where it's like,
Okay.
for your first time trying LSD or, your first time, taking Molly or fucking ketamine or whatever. Like, it's going to be one of those things where, like, you're going into the unknown, but like, you don't know what you're getting yourself into. But
you will find out. Well, especially with death, you will find out. I think. I think
almost all of my drug experiences, first times, have been awesome. So I'm hoping death is just as awesome.
From what I've read, I heard. I don't know. So I've talked to this guy who's done a lot of research on the near-death experience, and obviously people that have died, they've come back to life, and a lot of them, they all have different experiences, but a lot of them say it's really peaceful. There's a lot of peace that comes with it. Obviously, I think there's exceptions with certain people, but for the most part, it's pretty peaceful. Actually, a lot of these people actually want to end up going back to that.
Yeah,
whatever it is, right? Because they either see loved ones or they see people. So, for example, I'll give you
that like orgasmic purgatory, like.
No, I've heard just peace, happiness.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
yeah, but it's almost like it's nothing that we will ever feel here on Earth.
Exactly.
So people, they want to return back to that. And I don't know. I've just read a lot into it. I read a lot of stories about this. Obviously, I've worked with someone that has done tons of research into it. So that's why, I grew up very Christian. So a lot of people that commit suicide, obviously they go to hell, or is kind of the belief that basically that's what happens. It's a great sin. Now, from what
Robin Williams, he went to hell and saved his wife and got them into heaven.
What? No. What was this? What?
What? You haven't watched that fucking movie?
Oh, it's a movie. No.
What Dreams May Come.
I've never seen that movie.
Oh my gosh! And you should watch it on mushrooms.
Okay. I've tried
Visually,
mushrooms. I've tried mushrooms, but I've only microdosed.
No, you need a fucking handful if you're gonna.
Actually, I have some in my. What? Yeah, I do.
Give them all.
But I microdose with them.
Oh.
Yeah. I can give you.
God, I used to take an ounce, like a handful, a baggie at a time. Boom.
Really? So my thing is, dude, I just feel like I'm not in the right mindset. Like, even with weed, I'll get little panic attacks.
No, weed fucks me up more than any other.
Does it really? What happens? Yeah. Like, you get panic attacks when?
Oh yeah,
really?
Absolutely. I used to like weed when it was like
not
mersh.
Fucked with.
Yeah, it was mersh. It was just like shit weed.
Yeah. You probably had the best time too.
Yeah, just roll joints and giggle and yeah. Nowadays, this shit is
It's either
too
too
much.
potent, it's too potent, or it's too much. Yeah, you're absolutely right. But I actually didn't start until the start of the pandemic, just because there was nothing to do. So that's when I started. But then when I moved to Colorado, I would get panic attacks every single time I had even just like a little bit. So I just started again, just little 3 milligram edibles, and I don't know. They help me focus. Like I took one right before this podcast, and it just kind of helps me focus, kind of say my words a little bit better, especially when I take them with a nootropic. I've never taken Adderall, but I'm just assuming that's what it feels like.
Adderall is my mistress.
So let me ask you this, Kyle. Now that we're talking about drugs, obviously I've never taken any drugs. I've never smoked a cigarette. What was that start like? What made you, what was your first drug, and what kind of led into all of that? Because I'm kind of curious.
Let's see here. Booze.
Okay.
Booze was the first drug.
Okay.
Weed.
And how old were you around these times?
Well, booze, I remember sitting on my dad's lap, and he was like, "Oh, you want to take a taste of wine?" And dipped his finger into his wine glass and let me. And I was like, "What? That's gross." Like I was a little kid.
Yeah.
Probably 3 years old. Get older, yeah, booze, and then pot. But again, pot back then, and late 90s, early 2000s, nothing like today. And then, there was good, they called it kind bud. You could get kind or merch. Like, either get shit bud or good bud. And then, let's see here. I tried, ketamine with this girl, Mika, who I was hanging out with.
What is ketamine?
Well, it's a tranquilizer for
horses?
Well, or just animals.
No
Yeah.
shit, for real?
Yeah.
Okay, so how was that?
It was fucking weird. I didn't like it. You get trapped in what they call a K-hole.
Okay.
Where everything just shudders around you. Nobody can see what I'm doing, but go all around you, and you're just kind of stuck.
Oh, fuck. How long does that last?
Oh, not long.
Okay.
A few minutes. And then salvia. That was another one that fucked me up. I hated that.
What was that?
It's another. I took a bong rip of it, and it was something you could buy at a smoke shop back in the day, and that I didn't like that. I fainted.
Jesus.
But luckily, I was right next to my best friends. They collected me. Let's see. The worst thing I ever tried. Oh, yeah. Smoking heroin.
Jesus Christ, dude. What the fuck?
Yeah. I was in.
What was that?
I was in Chicago, and smoked some heroin, and same thing. I passed out. Buddies tossed me in the shower, and I was not responsive. Apparently my lips turned purple. They called the ambulance. They carried me down the stairs to the ambulance. And then I came to in the ambulance, and they took my vitals. And they were like, so, they said you might have experimented with heroin. I was like, no, I'd never fucking touch that shit. I didn't want to get any of my buddies in trouble. And they were like, well, your vitals are good. You're good to go. Just go home, hydrate, get some sleep.
And you'll be all right, yeah.
Yeah. But, no, that's not all right. Don't fuck with heroin. Never. Anybody listening to this.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
That's a scary motherfucker.
What did you feel when you were on it? Do you remember?
Nope.
Okay.
That's why
Yeah.
I felt sick. I was like,
Jesus.
The next 2 days, I was like, I'll never touch it. And I've lost a lot of friends to heroin.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, my uncle, I lost my uncle to heroin.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays, man. I feel like a lot of these drugs are very dangerous.
You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've smoked crack, smoked meth.
How was both of those?
Very intense.
Did you feel like a crackhead or?
Well, you don't think about it at the time, but after a couple days of not sleeping, you're like, holy shit.
So how was crack like, Kyle? Let's start with that
crack
one.
Wasn't as bad as crystal meth.
Okay.
Like,
how was meth?
Well, I snorted crack the first time in a fucking porta potty with my buddy John.
Okay.
John Lingen. At a music festival. We thought we ordered some blow. And turned out it was just crack rocks.
Fuck.
And he was like, well, fuck it. Let's do it. And so we went into a porta potty. Crushed it up, snorted it, and yeah, felt like dirty fucking crackheads because we were snorting crack in a fucking porta potty at a music festival in Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah. Snorting crystal meth. That was cooler. Like a little cleaner. But hands down the worst was heroin. Don't do heroin.
Okay.
Molly has always been mushrooms and LSD. Those are all friendly families. Just, know your supplier.
Right. Is there any tips that you would give people nowadays kind of going into that stuff? Obviously, you said don't use heroin. But obviously, I feel like nowadays drugs are a little bit more, especially like with heroin, meth, crack, and all that stuff. I'm just assuming like I said, I've never really done any. I haven't even smoked a cigarette in my life.
Do you want a ciggy?
No, I do not.
I'm joking.
I do not. I do not. That's one thing I promised myself I would never. I tried cigars, so I mean that's kind of cheating, but
no, I think you're. Yeah, no, I think that's fair.
But yeah, any tips you would give people that
No, just, I mean, know your fucking supplier and just know that it's safe. No, I don't know. These days it's so fucking hard.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, don't use them would be somewhat of a tip, but that's the thing is like you should never limit anybody to their experiences. Right. My thing is I don't know. I don't know any tips.
These days, all I do is still like I don't smoke pot, but I'll do blow and I'll have some alcohol and now vapes. That's the scariest motherfucker. Actually, I miss smoking real cigs. Like all these fucking vapes are. Who knows what's going to come out of them? But
I don't know. I guess we'll find out in the next 10 years all the long-term effects from them.
Yeah, I know. That's what's scary. I mean, real cigs back in the day, the 50s, 60s, when everybody was smoking cigs, nobody knew that lung cancer was going to be such a huge thing, yeah. But, yeah, as far as these days go, have a couple beers, have a couple lines of blow, and yeah.
Yeah, you just enjoy your life, and I'm not here to judge anybody, nor should we judge anybody as well too.
Yeah.
I actually didn't have my first beer till I was 18, and the funny thing is, me and my buddies were graduating high school, and for some reason, my one friend, we were gonna go to a party, but my one friend couldn't come with us. So we ended up just going to some random dudes. Well, it wasn't a random dude. It was friends of a friend. But they were like, here's a beer. And I'm like, so I'm pretending to drink this beer at this party. And my buddy's checking to see if I'm drinking it. And I just when he wasn't looking, I'm just tossing it. So he wasn't. And then he would check my beer every once in a while. He's like, oh, are you getting drunk? And I'm like, yeah, I'm getting drunk. But I'm tossing this beer in I don't know, in his yard or something, just because till this day I fucking hate beer, man. I can't stand beer. I think it's nasty. I'll drink White Claws. People can call me a little bitch if they want, but I just hate the taste of beer. I don't care. I hate the taste of of like I used to drink Coronas, man, and those things fucking taste nasty when they get warm, and they get warm quick. So that's the thing, and I'm like, dude, fuck this beer. Like once White Claw came out, I'm like, perfect, that's fine. I can just sip it. I love seltzer water.
Well, Corona also just looks like a bottle of piss.
Exactly,
anyway.
and it tastes like piss too.
Yeah,
it tastes like absolute piss, man. So this is my order when I go to a bar. I get a White Claw, a shot of tequila, and water. And then I'll repeat that process over again until I get drunk.
Yeah.
And, and that doesn't happen that often. I go out maybe like last time I went out was 1st of January.
Yeah.
The 1st of January. So
I had a friend, she didn't drink at all. And this is in high school. And so when at like a house party, she'd go get a beer, like a can of beer out of the 30 rack or whatever, and then she'd dump it out. And then go fill it up with water, and then walk around the party drinking water. Yeah, just so she could kind of like fit in, but didn't want to like actually drink, which I respect. That's awesome. Yeah. Now she's a porn star. I'm joking.
Do you have some interesting friends, Kyle? I will tell you that some of the people I meet from you, I'm like, holy shit, this is pretty cool people. Pretty strange sometimes, but always interesting. Always interesting.
Well, I mean, yeah. I've got a lot of. Well, I'm a weird dude, so I got a lot of weird friends. I'm gonna do a line. You want?
No, I'm good, dude. I am good. All right. Sorry, we had to take a little break.
No, we didn't, but...
So we have 3 questions from Anya. I'm going to start with... All right. This one's for you, Kyle. You're standing in a line with your parents. You are in the middle, your dad behind you, your mom in front of you. Would you rather thrust forward to penetrate your mom, or would you rather thrust backwards so your dad can penetrate you?
I'd leapfrog and find the mom in front of my mom.
Okay. That is, I like that. I like that answer. All right. I'm going to read question number 3. Would you rather have legs as long as your fingers or fingers as long as your legs?
Can multiple hands and legs be included?
I think
Say
so.
If I go righty with long fingers
to
touch the tanglers.
That's a hard one, man. Would you rather have legs as long as your fingers or fingers as long as your legs? That's all right. I think
Anya, you need to be on the next episode writing this twisted shit. All right.
Yes. I would rather have legs as long as my fingers. Yeah.
So I'd be
short.
Yeah, you'd be a little person, but same.
But yeah.
Body mass.
I don't know. Yeah, that's what I would pick.
Okay.
Which one would you pick?
I'd go on balance.
Okay. All right. This one's the more heartfelt question.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. What's a big fork you took in your life? What do you think your life would be like now had you taken the other path? I already know mine, and I think you know mine too. But
sure.
Let's start. Well, you want to start mine?
Yeah.
I think it was with your sister, man. I really think when I got kicked out of my dad's house in L.A., my only I thought my only option was to move back to New Jersey. But your sister asked if I can move or if I wanted to move here. And I made that decision pretty quickly. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to drive all the way to New Jersey. Fuck that. So I ended up moving here, and then I ended up getting to know you, your family, and your friends as well, too. And I think I think that's a path I should have gone. But if I would have taken the other path, moved back to New Jersey, I don't know, man. I don't know how my life would be. I think my life obviously would be completely different. I think my life would have, I think it would have been a lot more boring. I personally think think I wouldn't have been on all these adventures that I've been on. So yeah, I mean, you're basically part of that path as well too, obviously in a good way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was one of the more important forks in the road in my life. Is
you have to be more specific, George.
What do you mean?
Get in here and talk.
It was vague.
But the one I said?
Yeah.
Why?
So you have to picture yourself. No, I don't want to be. Say you went to New Jersey. So be specific.
Okay, so I don't mean to be rude. I don't mean to be rude towards the people that still live in New Jersey. I think like I said, I'm not trying to judge anybody that still lives over there, but I see a lot of my friends that still live in New Jersey, and a lot of them still live there. A lot of them haven't moved out of New Jersey. A lot of them are doing great things, but
are they like locals? Like,
yeah, a lot of them still live in the same
so
town, near the same town or around the same area. New Jersey's not that big anyways, but
yeah,
a lot of them are still there, starting their families or getting married. And look, I'm actually kind of jealous at some of them because I'm like, dang, these people are starting their lives already or have started their lives. But I'm not that jealous, to be honest with you, because I have my own path. They have their own path. But like I said, that's probably why it would have been a little bit more boring, just because I would probably just get a job, maybe get a girlfriend, and just that's kind of it.
Well, it sounds like you probably wouldn't have stayed though.
I probably wouldn't have stayed, but I felt like, well, I don't know. That's yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. But yeah, I think that's what would happen. Look, like I said, this isn't to judge any of my friends out there. I know a lot of people that live there or still listen to this podcast. So that's just my opinion. I think my life would have been a little bit more boring. I'm not saying that their life isn't, but just, I don't know. That's just how I feel. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I often think about, it was after my pops passed, so I did move out to Chicago.
Yeah.
That fork in the road, and I had never moved out of Tucson.
How old were you when you moved over there?
What year was it? 2011. So.
From 2011 to.
Oh wait, no. Shit, 2016. And then I came back in 2018.
Okay, yeah, I remember.
But it was one of those kind of forks. I was like, I want to move out of Tucson. I want to go experience something different. And I wasn't ready yet to be out
in the world, essentially.
By myself, out of my comfort zone, out of Tucson. And, it hit me hard. And I fucking, after a year and a half, I had to come right back
So
to
what
Tucson.
happened? Because I remember... Obviously,
I started drinking way too hard.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I was lonely. Because think about here in Tucson, when you're born and raised and you have friends that are more like family than friends for 20 plus years, and you move out to a city, basically.
You didn't have anybody out there?
No, just, my family in the burbs, but I'm getting there. But I moved in with my buddy Miles and my buddy Taylor. But it was scary.
Yeah.
Honestly, being on my own for the first time in the world. I went out there with a suitcase. Left my dog here. I left my house, everything. I just brought a suitcase and went out there. And it was so goddamn scary.
Yeah.
Learning, all over again what it's like to get your, get your gears moving, and like I got depressed because out there it's like couldn't make friends the way you do
make them here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? Before, I don't mean to interrupt you, but
No, please.
Tucson, I feel like, is one of the easiest place to make friends. That's why I moved back, because you can make friends at the most random, the random things, dude. Like you could be doing something,
and they turn into
lifelong friends,
best friends.
Yeah.
Tucson, I'm gonna just say it, is one of the most magical places. Like, God bless Tucson. Like,
you're right. There's something about this city that
so special.
It's not a beautiful city in all reality.
No,
It's kind of ugly.
Yeah, it's
from
not
the outside.
easy on the eyes. By any means. But golly,
but there's a lot of beauty in it.
Yeah,
the people, the
art,
love
of music, the love of art,
the love of everything. Really. That's why I moved back, because people have so much love.
Raindrop in monsoon season, like it's just like
that was the same
there is
issue.
Something very special about Tucson that, like, I don't think if I ever tried to move out of Tucson again, I'd never find it. Like,
you probably won't
ever again. Like, so yeah, after a year and a half, I was like, I need to be back home.
Yeah. But no, it's nice that you realize that too, because I had that same problem when I went out to Colorado. I was like, fuck, I'm pretty lonely out here. Like,
that's what happened.
Yeah, that's what he was telling me.
Yeah,
he was telling me the same thing. He got very lonely when he moved out there.
Yeah, he's like, dude, it fucking sucks. You can't just make friends.
No, you can't.
Yeah,
and that's not just Colorado. Well, be it Colorado, but other places as well too, man. Like, actually, I don't know. Maybe that was a Colorado
tough
thing
in general.
Yeah,
when you're trying to go somewhere and start and pick up a new, like, it takes a certain charismatic human to be able to relocate and put your fucking boots in the ground in a new city, and then all of a sudden,
like, just get it,
establish yourself and get it. Like Matt Molina, my cousin, my best friend, San Francisco. It's like I knew right away when he got out there. I was like,
he's gonna be fine.
I was so sad when he left, but I was like, I don't even need to be sad. That kid's just gonna fucking get there and fucking make a mark.
He's gonna be fine. Yeah. He makes pizzas though, right? Yeah.
3-time world pizza champion.
Is it okay? So, could you tell me a little bit about that? Like, how did that come to be? That pizza champion? Because I've heard so many. I mean, I've met him as well too. But how is that?
Yeah, and he'll be here in 2 weeks. Or no, 4 weeks.
Okay, all right. I'm excited to see him again.
Yeah, because me and Anya are going to be out of town. So
yeah,
you and him are going to be sharing the house.
Yeah, but hopefully, remember that story you told me of?
Oh God, do we? No, we. Nah.
Yeah, no. that was a funny story.
We'll drop it, but Matt Molina's got lots of funny stories.
Yeah.
I mean, I cut off his finger. That's a good one.
How did that happen?
I was riding my mom's exercise bike. I was probably 8 or 9, and he was probably 5, 6, 7, and he was this exercise bike that still had, the chain and everything on it. It's stationary, but it also had a speedometer. So I was seeing how fast I could go. But he was on the floor putting his finger on the goddamn chain. I didn't know. Didn't pull his finger off quite quick enough, and his finger just rolled.
What, for real? Holy shit!
Rolled into the fucking spikes and sliced it off. And he looks up at me. He's like, Kyle, I got cut. And I just see the bone sticking out of his fucking finger. I was like, don't look at it. Meanwhile, my mom, she's on the phone with her sister, Matt Molina's mom. Twins. I was like, Mom, Matt cut his finger. And she's like, Judy, I'll call you right back. And then he's bleeding everywhere. And she dives underneath the fucking exercise bike, finds the tip of his finger, throws it into a jar with ice, And then Matt starts, I have to go to the bathroom. I have to pee. So I have to go into the bathroom with my little cousin, unzip his fucking pants and hold his penis. And his fingers dripping blood everywhere. And, like, he's still in shock. Oh, God, yeah. So nowadays, he got tattooed on his knuckles. 9 left because chopped off the top.
Oh, the shit, that's funny, man.
Yeah, 3-time world pizza champion.
And he's out in San Francisco, so
yeah,
I can't wait to come, or I can't wait for him to come.
Can't wait to come.
What was it? I was gonna ask you something, but I completely forgot.
Well, ask.
I forgot what it was.
Think up another question.
All right. A drinking story. I have a pretty funny drinking story. I would say this is the second time I was ever drunk, so I wanted to ask you about a drinking story, but I'll go first. So I remember when I drove from New Jersey to LA, my buddy was going to school in West Virginia. So he's like, hey, you should stop by and visit me. And I'm like, definitely. So ended up going to West Virginia. It's in the summertime. He was in a frat. I get there. I waited for him to get out of work. He gets out of work, and he's like, hey, we're all going to go out. So I start drinking beers. I really wasn't drinking beers. But anyways, we ended up going to this club or bar or whatever. They didn't even ID us. I was 19 at the time. And all of a sudden, like, all his frat friends come, and then the sorority girls start coming. And they're like, hey, are you Dave's friend? And I'm like, yeah, I'm Dave's friend. So they're like, well, this is your first time. You have to drink this fucking jungle juice for the first time. And I was like, okay, cool. So I start drinking it, and it was very sweet. So I drink this whole entire thing, dude, and I'm like, I feel fine, dude. Like, me letting you know, this is the second time I was ever drunk. So I drink this whole entire thing, and it was a lot. And all of a sudden, I see another person with it. I'm like, hey, let me have some of this. So I'm over there finishing both of these. It was a bunch of shit, dude. I don't remember what it was, but I start drinking all of this, and dude, I'm like pretty fucked up, like very, very fucked up at this point. So we start walking, dude, and I can't fucking walk. So they're like kind of holding me, and out of nowhere, I shit you not, you can ask my buddy Dave, I start speaking Italian fluently. And people are like, what the fuck? Like, where did you learn Italian? And I'm like, I don't know. And I start fucking speaking it. Like, the accent, the words, everything starts coming out perfectly.
Yeah, you're a Guido for the night.
I guess so. So then all of a sudden we go to this like sandwich stop. And I see this dude who I thought he looked homeless. So I buy a sandwich, dude. And I'm like, here, you want this sandwich? And he's like, nah, man, I don't even know what he wanted. So I'm over there giving this dude a hug. I even took a picture with this guy. And I'm like, here, have the sandwich. Like, you're hungry. He's like, dude, I'm not homeless, but I'll keep the sandwich. So we ended up going back to my buddy's house. And I'm over there, like, talking shit to these frat kids, I guess. Turns out they weren't frat kids. They were some girls' dads. Like, the dad and her uncle trying to help this girl move in, and they start throwing shit at me. So I'm like talking shit, and then my buddies start pulling me away, or my friends' buddies start pulling me away. So they're like, they thought they had me inside. All of a sudden I'm outside somehow, and these dudes are like coming down, and they pull me back inside, and they're like, hey, he's just drunk or whatever. I end up falling asleep that night, piss my pants, wake up the next morning. We go to Pittsburgh, and I was fine. When we come back to Pittsburgh, I ended up clogging their toilet, and I just left. I ended up leaving. I was like, all right, well, I got to go to California, and my buddy calls me like 30 minutes ago. He's like, dude, what the fuck? Like, you clogged this person's toilet, like, and now they're pissed, and I'm like, sorry, Dave. Yeah, and I just left, too. Well, I tried flushing it, and it didn't flush, so I was like, fuck this, I gotta go. I gotta make time. So that's my drinking story.
Man, I'm trying to think. I think one of my favorites was I came home a little wasted.
Okay.
And Anya had not gone out with me that night.
Okay.
And, like, I forgot she had a friend in town.
Uh-huh.
And I'm a little hammered.
Okay.
And I thought night was over. But it was only, like, 11 o'clock at night. And so her and her friend were getting ready to go out. They were trying on clothes, whatever. Took a picture, realized I always forget that her and Emma Watson
All right.
are friends.
Mm-hmm.
Snapped a picture, and yeah, her and Emma got real pissed at me, but I was not allowed to go out with them that night.
All right. All right. That's a pretty,
But
that's a pretty
it's
good
a great
one.
picture. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just Emma Watson's little little bun.
Okay. All right. Shit, dude, we're actually like an hour into this.
We're gonna have to go to part 3 and 4.
Part 3? Or in part 4? Okay,
car.
that's completely fine with me.
Let's wrap it up here and
yeah.
go say hi to the dogs.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a plan. Kyle, thanks for being on again, man.
I'll send you the picture of the Emma Watson.
Okay,
And
I might, okay.
use that as your
The thumbnail?
Yeah.
All right, if we have Anya's permission, then that's completely fine with me.
Well, I'll have to get Emma's, but
Okay.
no, Emma's cool with it.
Yeah, I know it was kind of serious, the first initial start of the topic, but, you know, man, especially with suicide and stuff like that, you know, it's obviously a touchy subject. Obviously, we're not advocating anybody to commit suicide, but, you know, there is help. There is
a lot of like
there is a lot of help. We're not here to judge anybody.
Your best friend is the biggest help. Just fucking talk to a friend. If you're fucking having thoughts, just do it.
Yeah, no, don't do it.
No, if you're suicidal, talk to a buddy.
Yeah, or just, you know, talk to. Sorry, I misheard you there. Yeah, no, talk to somebody, man.
Yeah.
I know we kind of made a little jokes here and there, but you know, it's always good to talk to somebody. So that's pretty much all I have for today, Kyle. Thanks again.
Thank you very much, George.
Yeah, till part 3.